In the Global Connections inquiry, students explore ways they are connected to others around the world through the movement of people, goods, and ideas. Let's take a look at the key moments in the inquiry. Before you begin exploring global connections with students, consider informing caregivers about the inquiry using the provided Inquiry Launch Letter. The hook lesson, Our Connections Around the World, is the first lesson of the launch module. During this lesson, you'll introduce students to the Global Connections Inquiry Wall, the display that will showcase student work and jumpstart discussion throughout the inquiry. You'll add to and modify this living document throughout the inquiry. Remember, there's no pre-teaching required for hook lessons. Students are likely to encounter new words, new concepts, and new content. Use that newness to spark curiosity and motivate students for the learning ahead. You'll begin building your classroom's vocab wall, which will grow over the course of the inquiry. Finally, you'll introduce students to the inquiry question that will guide them through the investigation modules that follow. How can we act as global citizens? In the second lesson of the launch module, Generating Investigation Questions, students will use the question formulation technique, a protocol for producing, improving, and prioritizing questions. During the protocol, you'll work with students to fill out the investigation questions anchor chart, which you'll display and refer back to throughout the inquiry. Remember, it's okay if students don't have many ideas yet. This is time for informal pre-assessment, not pre-teaching. After the launch module, you'll guide students through 4 investigation modules, each organized around an essential need-to-know question. Where in the world are we? How does geography shape culture? How are we connected to the global community through what we produce and consume? How can I play a part in the global community? Throughout these investigation modules, you'll also check for understanding using checkpoint assessments, which come near the end of a module. Remember, if you need support with the checkpoint assessment, you can always use the assessment guide linked in the lesson. Let's look at a few highlights from each module. In Module 2, students watch the latitude and longitude video to explore how latitude and longitude are used to determine absolute location. In Module 3, students identify the physical and human characteristics of a country and then write a travel plan that reflects how geography shapes culture in that location. In Module 4, students explore the concepts of specialization and interdependence, tracing the journey from raw materials to final product for everyday items. Finally, in Module 5, students engage in a mingle, pair, share to discuss the ways they can act as citizens of a global community. At the end of Module 5, you'll help students get ready to turn their learning into action by reflecting on their learning about global connections, generating ideas to share, problems to address, and solutions that their inquiry product might provide, creating an inquiry challenge statement that describes how they will use their learning to design and implement an action that has an impact on their community. After Module 5, it's time to take action. Based on student interest, available resources, and your unique context, you'll choose an inquiry product that students will create to impact the community beyond their classroom. The possibilities are endless. Students could create and present cookbooks with recipes from around the globe, explaining how the recipes reflect the geography and culture of their countries of origin. Design a presentation for their principal that traces the journey of items in their school lunches, advocating for the use of more local products. Make a storybook with characters of commonplace products, featuring their journey from raw materials to consumer goods. Whatever product you and your students choose to create, the lessons of Module 6 will guide you through the stages of the design process, culminating in students sharing their work and reflecting on their learning and accomplishments. One important step in the design cycle that you don't want to miss is co-creating a final inquiry product rubric with students. You'll base your rubric on objectives from the investigation modules, inquiry skills, and student-generated success criteria. And that's a quick overview of the Global Connections inquiry. Don't forget to submit samples of student work and photos of your students, accessible from the Inquiry Hub portal at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Good luck on your inquiry journey.